Carlton Collingwood. We're back to do it all again. Let's get into it. It seems just like yesterday when Nick Dacos kicked that winning goal in the last couple of minutes of the last Collingwood-Carlton game. And that game seemed like it had a lot of consequences to the winner and the loser. But this one now is just huge for so many reasons. None other than Pendlebury's 400th game. It is a big occasion for the AFL in general, the sixth player to only play 400 games or more. And it's a big occasion for Collingwood, our first 400 gamer. And it is, Scott Pendlebury, a absolute just the best player of all time, right? The best Collingwood player of all time, in my opinion. Best Collingwood player I've ever seen play the game. And we get to celebrate him on this game. And, Craig McRae for so long has said, there's no such thing as 8-point games and we're just looking at the 4 points, it's just a win. But I think this game has a lot more feeling in it than any other game has, especially this season. And for the last few seasons as well. So, not only is it Pendlebury's 400th, and we're going to get up for Pendlebury's 400th, but it's also season on the line stuff for us. The reality is that we need to win our next 4 games, which is all of our games, to make the 8 and to make a push for finals. We can maybe drop one, but do you really want to live in a life where it's maybe we can do this, maybe we can do that? We have to win all of our 4 games. And the opponent that we come up against, Carlton, has had a bit of a weird month as well. They've lost 3 of their last 4 games. They need to win this game. So not only is it a must-win for us, it's a must-win for them because they've got their top 4 hopes on the line as well. And it becomes the party poopers versus the party. And we know Carlton absolutely love shitting on us when it is a celebration. You just have to look at our 125th year celebration. Carlton come out, beat us there. And there's been a couple of other few occasions where Carlton have just beaten us when we're trying to celebrate something. So this game isn't going to be any different. But the thing about this game is form goes right at the window, especially as of late, because these teams are going to give you every single thing they have, and they are going to fight to their absolute death. Now, the Pies have had a weird few weeks. We beat Richmond. We play, in 4 losses in a row. The first under Craig McRae, our first since 2021. And we were in a patch where nothing was going right. And then we play Richmond, and it didn't set the world on fire. It didn't set the AFL world on fire. We weren't, winning by 60 or 70 points that we maybe should have been winning by. But we did see that the cogs were starting to turn a little bit and turn a little bit in our favour. Mason Cox comes back, Dan McStay gets some more time. So now we're kicking to forward targets that aren't Bobby Hill, Jamie Elliott and Will Hoskin-Elliott trying to play tall because we haven't had tall players. So now we've got someone to link up with. We've got a 7-foot giant running and placing himself on a wing or a half-forward flank or deep in the forward line to bring the ball to ground. We've got Dan McStay, who is just taking contested mark after contested mark, kicked 3 goals the other day and could have had 5 or 6. So it's these players that are going to cause a little bit of a spanner in the works of other teams. And it started against Richmond, but it continues against Carlton. And the thing with the Richmond game is we started seeing a little bit of our DNA come back. It was the tackles inside forward 50. It was the pressure. It was the tackles just in general. For the last few weeks, we haven't seen the pressure Pies. I said that we've become the depressured Pies. So we haven't really seen that from our team. And we started seeing it against Richmond. And yes, we started seeing it because Richmond are 18th. But you can only play who's in front of you. And 2, it's good that it at least got going when people thought that Richmond might have rolled us. And you got to think that Richmond really took it up to Port Adelaide the week before as well. So, it's not nothing to scoff at beating Richmond, but it was just good to see that the cogs started to finally turn. Everything was finally clicking, and our midfielders know who to kick it to and know where to go now. And it's another game under Jamie Elliott's belt. It's another game for, Scott Pendlebury, who was coming off, that bicep injury. So his arm's getting a little bit better. Nick Dacos had a really good game. So it was good to see that the cogs were turning. Carlton, on the other hand, they kick one goal in that second half after a 7-goal second quarter. And they go down to a very good Port Adelaide side. Carlton were missing Harry Mackay. They're missing TDK. Mackay will play again this weekend. So, we've got to deal with Curnow and Mackay. The thing is, though, you can chalk up Curnow for 3 goals. You can chalk up Mackay for 3 goals. It's not those guys that I'm too worried about. It's those other guys. It's their smaller forwards. It's like Owies. It's Motlop. It's Cottrell. It's Patrick Cripps. We know that Cripps can turn it on. It's Sam Walsh. Their midfielders have been less than their best for the last few weeks. And what better way than to motivate yourself on the path to finals than coming against the Collingwood side that has everything to play for and is celebrating the 400th game of Scott Pendlebury. So they're going to want to prove themselves. We're going to want to prove ourselves. And when two kings clash, you just know it's going to be an absolute spectacle. I think this game is going to be won and lost, obviously, in the midfield, right? Carlton succumbed to Port Adelaide's pressure last week. I think Port had 90-plus tackles. So that's something that we've got to do really, really well. And it's not just tackles around the ground. It's sticking tackles, making sure that they're not getting through like Hawthorn were doing a couple of weeks ago. And it's inside forward 50 tackles. I want to see a dozen inside forward 50 tackles. We should be bringing Beau McCreary back into the team. So we're going to have Beau, Bobby, and Lockie Schultz doing all of that tackling. We've got Ned Long in there, who had 10 tackles on the weekend. And I think Ned Long is going to be a bit of a run-with role with Patrick Cripps possibly. So instead of Scott Pendlebury going to Cripps like he usually does, maybe we chuck a Ned Long on him, who is a big body, who is tall, as tall as Cripps, and goes hard at the ball and at the player. So maybe we sort of do that. But we need to see these pressured pies go to another level. Our pressure rating has to be absolutely through the roof, and it starts at from the first bounce. I don't want to see Carlton get 4 or 5 goals, straight away, like teams have been doing to us. I want to see us really apply the pressure and put our foot down as soon as that ball is bounced, because we know that this is going to be an absolute colossal battle. It's at the Coliseum. It's going to be loud. Thankfully, it's Collingwood's home game, so there's going to be more Collingwood supporters there. I want to hear the chant from the start of the game to really see us through. And I think, honestly, that we get up for this game. And I know we haven't been performing well, but I've got a funny feeling about this game that we are absolutely going to get up and rise to the occasion while Carlton sort of falters a little bit. I don't have to tell you that this is, even though I already kind of did, that this is a season-defining game. Although, you know what, honestly, I'm not going to give Carlton credit because all our games coming in is season-defining. The Richmond game was season-defining. Carlton is going to Sydney next week. Brisbane, Melbourne, all of these are season-defining. And we've had a pretty shitty run of luck this year with injuries. It's pretty much just injuries at the wrong time to the wrong players. The other players have done their job well. We're not going to have Jordan De Goey. But you just got to look at how we beat Carlton earlier on in the season. There was no De Goey. There was a laid out. I think Mitchell was a laid out as well. Lockie Sullivan comes into the team. Beau McCreary goes off in the first or second quarter with a head knock. It was a head knock. Lockie Sullivan comes in for his first game, kicks a goal, and that sort of G'd everyone up. It's these little things that we can celebrate throughout the game. And we started getting it back with Richmond. We started getting that DNA back. And what better way than to sort of put a foothold on our season. Our season is in our hands. Destiny is in our hands, right? And there's not a better occasion than Saturday night against the arch rivals. And it's not only that, it's for this guy as well. We're doing it for this guy for this guy as well. It's Pendlebury, if you don't know. So we're doing it for Pendles as well, and he has given everything to this football club. He has given 20 or almost 20 years. That's 2 decades to this football club. There's not a better way to celebrate him and his achievements than by going out there on Saturday night and absolutely beating the Blues, because we've got them at a good time. They're against the ropes right now, so don't forget that. They're right against the ropes, and they're going to be fighting back, but so are we. We're against the ropes. Our backs are right against the wall, and the only way to go when your back is against the wall is out and to fight, and is to start just throwing haymakers, yeah? And that's exactly what we're going to do on Saturday. My big call and predictions, I think we're going to win by 20 plus points. I don't know what's making me say that. I don't know why I'm saying that. But I feel like it's not going to be a comfortable win. Carlton are going to go, at one point, they're going to kick 5 or 6 goals in a quarter. Not in a row, but just in a quarter. They're going to blow it away. But all we have to do is look at that second half of what Port Adelaide were able to do to Carlton to keep them to 1 goal. Do I think we're going to keep them to 1 goal and a half? Not at all, especially with Mackay and Curnow there. But we're going to do enough right. We've done enough right this season to come out and really attack them and really start showing our premiership credentials again. Maybe we don't make finals this year, right? Maybe we don't, and that's okay. We can start tripping teams up, and it starts with Carlton on Saturday night. And I really think we're going to put up an insane fight, not only for our season, which is on the line, but for Scott Pendlebury, because we owe this to him. The players out there owe it to him to not put up a shit effort like we have been these last few weeks. It started with the Richmond game. It just got it got the WD-40 on our wheels, and we're starting to turn. And we're going to get that fly spray on it this week. And it is going to be an epic battle that I think we come away with a win. Let me know your thoughts down below. How do you see the game playing out? I'd love to hear your thoughts. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets. And until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.